Okay. And then Gridiron Simulator is a football coaching tool that we're going to release. It's an app that we're going to release in January of 2020, along with the player injury app. And we also are going to release a uniform creator as well, along with that. And so those are the products that we're going to release this year. And we are also, as I mentioned, the football history game. And I wanted to, if anyone has questions about the football history game, go ahead and leave those in the chat right now, because we are going to field a lot of those questions. I know Kurt Ford had one in regards to releasing it on Xbox and PlayStation. So we've played around with releasing the game in Xbox and PS4, which will be now the PS5 environment, and it works well. But the reason why we're not going to release it on all platforms is because we have to do more testing to make sure that it operates and functions well in that environment, and that's the main reason why we're not going to release it initially on all the platforms. A lot of times when you and plus, not only that, we have to be able to pay Xbox and PS, PlayStation, Sony, a sizable amount of money to actually get released on there, and we also have to be able to be accepted on there. So that's a process, and it takes a little bit of time. It's not something that you can do within a couple of months or 3 months. It takes some time for that. So that's the main reason why we're not releasing on that. Whereas PC, we can get that product out to you guys a lot sooner than it would be on Xbox and Sony. And once we get the traction there, it'll be much easier to release this on the other platforms. Um, we also the main thing that we have with the products that we have is the customization features. We've worked very, very hard on the customization features, and the customization is the main thing. We've got a customization tool that we are going to make available to the public to design football uniforms, but we're also going to make it to design basketball uniforms, baseball uniforms down the road, and other sports as well. And with that, especially with the football history game, you'll be able to import those uniforms that you create. If you just have the tool, you'll be able to import them into the game if you want, and you can import your own logos and that in there as well. So that's the main thing with that. The Gridiron Simulator, again, that's going to be sold to coaches. It's going to be a full blown coaching tool that coaches can design plays, run plays in a sandbox, and we have AI that they can run those plays against. So that's going to be great. Kurt says again, Cal, why do you feel you would get more traction on PC? Well, the main reason why we're going to get more traction on PC is because the PC environment is huge, for one, and we did the research on this. The PC environment is huge, but also there's nothing out there like this on PC, and so by gaining a lot of customers on PC, it will give us the ammunition that we need to go to PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, it's not like we're not going to go there. We are going to go on those platforms, but this is the smartest release from a business standpoint that we can make. And that's the main reason why we're going PC first. We always said when we were making this game that it was going to be PC and Mac first because there's an underserved environment there. So does anybody else have any other questions regarding that? Oh, I wanted to make sure everyone knew this too. This is not football history is not going to be a joystick jockey game like Madden and other games. This is going to be a tactical strategy game, pretty much like Football Manager is for soccer, but we're going to have a lot more 3D graphics, a lot more 3D situations that will happen, especially when it comes to training players and stuff like that. So we have a lot more that we're going to do with this tactical strategy game, but it also gives more of a realistic feel for people that want to play in a realistic manner. They want to play football that way. I grew up playing games like Stratomatic football and a lot of the football board games, and that's what this is going to be like, but it's going to be a visual 3D representation of football. Um, so we already have these other apps already built and ready to go. We've got the uniform creator, the injury tracker, and we have a call sheet creator, and we also have the gridiron simulator. Um, is it okay? Kurt asked another question: Is it a playable game like old school PS2? Well, I would ask, what do you mean by playable? Um, well, playable. The game is going to be playable. The game is playable. I mean, it depends on how you want to play it. I mean, this is not a Madden-esque game. It's not going to be play like Madden where you control the player. It's not playable in that manner, but it is playable from a standpoint of coaching, managing a team, managing an organization, being a GM, being a coach, being a player, but watching everything play out. No, it's not going to be like NFL Game Day or NFL 2K. This is going to be this game is going to be a strategy based game like Football Manager. So with more 3D. So is everybody? Do we have a video feed right now? Does anybody? Is there any kind of video feed? Can if somebody type in whether you see me on video or not, or are we just getting audio right now? Okay. Okay. So okay, good. That's good to see. So I must have resolved the issue with the echo and everything too that we were having. Neither now for me. Oh, somebody says expressive sound says he's not seeing either. Video is frozen. Okay, let me. Okay, let's. Okay. Okay. So I see. Expressive sound says you're not getting anything. You're not getting no audio and for no more looping. Okay. But the video is frozen. You're hearing the audio, but no video. And expressive sounds says the video is frozen. You might want to just refresh your screen, and it'll catch up. Okay. Kurt says he can see and hear me now. Okay. All right. Good. Um, so those of you who can't see me or hear me, there it goes. It's fine now. Okay. Good. Great. Great. Okay, so one of the things that we're doing this year with this new company that we formed, which is iPlayInteractive, and we have iPlayInteractive's own YouTube channel. I wanted to do it on this channel because some of the features are not working yet on iPlay as far as streaming video and everything, but we've got it up and going now, but that was after we did this. So um, we with this football game that we're making here, this is going to be something a lot different than a lot of you have played in the past. It's going to have a lot of the same excitement. It's going to have a lot of the same things that you've been accustomed to, but it's not going to be where you're playing and controlling the player. Now, some people don't like that, and some people do. And for some people, those of you that like playing the game in the with from a coaching aspect, general manager, you'll be really thrilled with this because you're not only going to get those aspects of the game, but you're also going to get the management and the part of it. Plus, you're going to get the 3D graphics that are going on. We're trying to pay a lot of attention to detail with the graphics. We're working on improving our tackling animations. We're working on improving our blocking animations. We have new player models in there. We have to weight paint them. We have lineman models in there now. We have more textures on the players right now, so they look a lot better. And with the customization features, we have 46 logos in there right now, but we're going to add some more by the time the game releases. We've got 51 stadiums right now, and we're going to probably put half of those in to begin with and make the other ones available out on the marketplace or something like that. But I'm working on a feature right now where we can actually uh, do the same thing we're doing with the customization of players. We're working on a system where we can put our modular sections together for our stadiums, and then you can just build your own stadiums as well. So I'm sure a lot of you out here who like modding are going to love this because you're able to mod. It says, I see Keenan. He says, what was the original game supposed to be like? Well, the original game was, it went a couple of different ways in the beginning, and it originally was going to be like um, the games you see like Madden and everything like that. And we wanted to go a different direction because we wanted to go into another type of a market. We already have games out there like Madden. I think Madden, to me, is a good game. It's a really good game, and even some of the indie developers that are making games like that right now, I don't think really compares to that because they have a larger team. They have more resources and everything. And what we're doing is something that hasn't really been done in the market right now. Kurt says, I was wondering the same thing because honestly, I don't think a lot of people understand that. Yeah, you're right, Kurt. You know, I don't want to make a poor man's version of Madden, and I think, there's no knock on any of the indie developers out there right now, but Madden has great graphics. It has the NFL license. It has a lot of different things, and I feel we can do the same thing from a management standpoint. And it takes a lot of what I want to say. It takes a lot of excuse me. It takes a lot of resources to come up with, making the AI strong enough to for the human intervention, like moving a player around in animation so it looks realistic. And we wanted to be able to offer that same kind of realism, but we wanted to be able to do it with, from a management perspective, like Football Manager. There's a lot of people that play Football Manager just for the management aspect of it. They don't even care about the 3D, and there's a lot of people that are addicted to that. And we want to create that same type of vibe for American football and Canadian and indoor football as well. And which I wanted to tell you guys. I mean, this is the thing about what we have. We have all three styles of football working, and we've got another fourth, which is dynamic football, that's going to come into the fold with this too. But right now, for the first release, we're going to have three styles of football that people can play, and they can take their character through all those three styles of football through a career, which I think is really good. Um, let's see. So that's what we have from that perspective from football history. Now, I wanted to mention to you the the Gridiron Simulator. Now, that is going to be something that a lot of now, another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is what people will be able to do with this game that you can't do with any other, is that you can create your own plays. You can create your own plays, design your own plays, and run them against different types of formations and everything. So a lot of the things that we did in the football simulator, and we created that first. And the reason why we went back and did that, because we wanted to simulate football. And the best way to do that is to create a simulator. So we created a simulator that coaches, real coaches, football coaches at college level, youth level, even the pro level, can use this simulator to create their own playbooks and plays and everything, and run them against, a simulated AI opponent. So now that gives you another way to go with this, because now you can create your own plays, run them, and have your own playbooks and share them with people. And I think that's going to be the highlight of this game. Um, I wanted to show you guys. I hope you guys can see this. And this is just a paper copy of it. But the screen, the play screen, the 2D play screen will look like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then when you switch from 2D to 3D, then you'll get the regular field of play out there, just like you normally have. Let's see. Keeping your game alive in the setback. Yeah. Yeah, we've went through some setbacks with the game and everything, but when you're developing software and you're developing something that really there's not a whole lot of people developing. I mean, we're one of 4 people in the country right now that's actually developing something. There's a lot of people that have talked about developing a football game and everything, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, which is why you haven't really seen a lot of people do anything. But I dedicated 4 years of my life to this, and we really have it at a stage right now where it plays fluidly. We just have to clean up a few things, like paint weights on the player models, kind of tweak some animations and things like that. But I mean, we've got the game running in all 3 styles. We can run any type of play that we want, and that's what's so great about it. Kurt says, "You're making a great game, except I can't control the player." Well, Kurt, let me put it to you this way. We have controllers built into the game right now. We can control them. I'm just choosing not to do that right now because I want to find a better way than what we've already had to control the players in the game. We may do that down the road, but I think right now this is going to be a great game as it is. Now, if we make it a great game without the control, now just think what it's going to look like if and when we do add controllers to it, because we can do that. We already have it in there. We're just not activating it. It's not enabled. So that's why you're not going to be able to actually control the player. But if we have people having fun this way, then we may add some control. But I believe that the problem with a lot of the games right now is that the user has too much control. So you got a button for this, you got a button for this, you got a button for that, and it just gets convoluted after a while. Um, okay, the game engine. All right, so a lot of you know, Kurt just asked the question, what is the game engine? So a lot of you may have early on know that we were using Unreal. Well, now we rebuilt the game uh, in the Unity engine. And so that's what we're using right now. I'll put that in the chat. And Unity. And the reason why I went and switched to Unity was I have access to more developers. Not a lot of people knew Unreal, and we're using the C# code and everything, and that's something that I'm really familiar with. So I can check the code, go in there and tinker with code and everything. And in C++ is what Unity uses, and I wasn't really versed on that, and I had to really rely on a lot of developers to help with that. And so that's why we changed the engine. So the game engine that we're using now is Unity. And we rebuilt the whole game in Unity, and now it's working fine. We've got a lot of different assets in here. We're going to give you guys access to, like I said, we're working on an app within the game that will give you access to your own build your own stadiums, which I think is cool. We already have the customization, but building your own stadiums is really cool. Um, and like I said, I'm going to set up a stream so all of you can go there and on Skype. I think it's better on Skype that we can go there out there and we can actually demo some gameplay for you guys. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. We've put some videos up, but we've gotten a lot better right now too. It says Kurt has a question here. Main problem to me with Madden isn't user issues; it's EA and their animation manipulation. Um, so the animations, we don't have any restrictions. Like, for instance, we don't have to worry about making the Patriots good or making this team good because in real life they're good. We can, add a little bit more randomness to what we're doing with our animations and everything. And I believe that when you do that, and then we're going to look at using some uh, ragdoll animations in that too. So that's going to make it better. Let's see. Nana, like the different direction. The poor man's Madden games already exist, and it's quite embarrassing. I'd rather see someone focus on. Yeah, and what we're gonna do there, Nana, or non-applicable, is we're going to actually with what we're doing with our game, we're going to put some randomness in there, and we're going to have weather. We're going to have dirty uniforms. We're going to have a lot of things that are in that, like when you're playing football, I want the look and feel of I'm actually in the game. It's raining, the ball is slick, and things like that. So we can do a lot of that, and by not having to worry about you know player controls or anything like that, we can add a whole lot of stuff to the game. G12 says, could you make a crazy trick plays uh, in the game? Yes, you can. You can make. If you've seen some of my videos, you can throw the ball back to a player, throw it to another player, and then throw it downfield. You can also, when you're running the ball down the field, you can lateral. You can set up a play where it's a hook and lateral, the old hook and lateral, where you throw it to a guy, another guy's trailing, and you pitch the ball to him. So, yes, you can make some crazy plays. So, is this a mix of NFL head coach and quick hit? Um, Keenan asks, is this game a mixture of head coach and quick hit? In a way, yeah. It's got some head coach stuff in there, but I think we take it to another level with this. I mean, I think we have, when you're going to play a career, it's going to almost feel like an RPG plus a football game as well. Um, Kurt asks, my point is in Madden, the CPU determines which animation wins. Yeah, well, in our game, the CPU is it's really going to be determined by a couple of things because we're going to have the size and weight of the player, and then there's some calculations in there. So if this player is a good player, then and he has a certain rating in I'm just making this up. Let's say the player has a good rating as far as pancaking a guy, then he's going to more and often win that battle. Now you can put that player on any team and he may dominate, just like in real life. If a player is good, he's going to dominate, but he's not going to be super. Um, yes. Kurt asked, will the game have physics? Yes. The game will be based on a lot of physics. It's going to be physics driven. Um, so we're going to put physics in our tackling. We're going to put physics in our passing and everything. So we're working on, more spin on the ball, on the physics for the passing and everything. So yeah, we're using everything that we can use within Unity for that. See, King Habo asks, so will be a management game? Yes, it will be a management game with customizable graphics, so you can. And I know you mod and everything, so this will be right up your alley. You can create any team you want. But yeah, it will be a management game, but you will be able to play these plays out, and it'll look like you're playing. Just think of it as you would and I'm not, we're not as great as Madden, but think of it as you're playing Madden, but you're not controlling the player. You are managing, watching the player. He's going to have injuries. You're going to have to manage through that, and that's the thing that this will have. So no, you're not going to control the player. We do have, as I mentioned earlier, controls built in, but we're not going to activate them as of yet. But we have tested this, and we can throw passes and do everything that you do with other games like Madden and everything. But I really don't want to go down that road because I believe that there's a market and a need for something like this, and that's why we're making it a management game. Um, let's see, let's see. Going back to, I think G12 asked the question about the crazy plays, trick plays. I think this is going to be the highlight of what we're doing is the fact that you're not limited to a set of plays. Now we're going to put, prefab plays in there, but there'll be hundreds of, or not, I shouldn't say hundreds, but quite a few prefab plays that are going to come with the game. But more overly, you'll be able. I'll find that most people are going to probably just go ahead and start creating their own playbooks and share them. They'll create their own teams, share them online and everything. And so, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, because we call this game football history, um, as we keep as this community grows, we also are going to have player models, stadiums, and fields from the 1920s, 1930s, all the way up to present day. So there are going to be packs that are going to come out that'll be the 1920s. I think in when we ship the game, we'll have the 1920s in there with the player models and stadiums and everything for that. And then we're going to make more content for the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up until current day, the way it is right now. So you'll be able to play, um, old time vintage players with leather helmets against each other as well. And I wanted to see what you guys think of. I know this is crazy, but it's a video game, so you can do whatever you want. Playing leather helmet players against current day players. What do you guys think about that? If you can put that in the chat, that would be great. Because I wanted to see how many people would think about doing something like that. Also, we're going to have at a later date too, women's teams, women players. So the player models will be women, and you can put them into the game and play against men. So this is going to be a free-form sandbox of football. We're going to concentrate solely on football right now, all aspects and everything we can muster with that, and then see where it takes us. So you can play the game. We want it so people can play it whatever they want. Also, I want to know what you guys think about having like a flag football in there or something like that as well. We can do whatever we want except control. Yep, yep, and that's for now. So Kurt asked, we can do everything we want except control the players. Yeah, for now, yeah. Um, what I would want to work on, and this is going to be a help from the community, if and when we go the route of giving the user control of the player, I want to make sure by testing it with you guys, maybe we do a demo after the game is released as to what type of controls we should have. I don't think we should have too many if we do offer that, but I want to get that from you guys. Why not include an option for the user? Mm, uh, I don't want to include an option for the user to turn it on and off because we want to appeal to just a certain audience right now. And I think right now, I don't believe we're ready for that total control right now or having control to activate those controls. And so that's why I want to keep it as a management game, get everything, get the gameplay and everything as tight as we can get it, and then go from there. Oh, you would like G12 says he would like flag football. That's not a problem. We already have arena football, so basically all we have to do is make a flag football field. I think flag football is 7-on-7, and we can make that. So any type of football that you guys have ideas for, I would like to know, because we can actually we may be able to implement that after the launch, or we may be able to implement it before the launch. I know we got a lot of things to do before the launch, so we're going to pretty much stick with the format that we have, but we can implement things like flag football, street football, whatever you want. I want to make this a game where if you guys want to play with all ladies, or you want to play with whatever you want to play with, I want to make it where you can do whatever you want. You know, the only thing you don't have, the only caveat to all of that right now, is that you don't have a um, total control. You don't have control over the player. Like, you can't control them like you would in Madden, right now. And I know for some people that's a turnoff, but I believe that going in this direction, we're going to have a bigger community, a stronger community, and we can make a better game. This is Kurt says, how many people do you have currently making your game, and what is their experience in making a game? So we have 5 developers that have game experience, and it took me a while to find these people, because, as I've had developers in the past, and not everybody can do this type of work. And some of these guys just didn't have the expertise or experience. These guys they've worked with companies like Ubisoft and Sony, and they have on the average of about 10 years of gaming experience. One of the guys worked on NFL Game Day, and so, that's the level of experience that we have right now. But that was only gotten in the last year or so. So prior to that, we just had inexperienced developers that just really didn't have the experience to do what we needed to. We went through some setbacks with a lot of that, but now we have some experienced developers making this game, and it's showing right now. It really is. Um, I see King Habo has, if I can make a suggestion, you should focus on certain scope and make it small enough and manageable, or else it will never get released. I'm not worried about that. We already have the scope. The scope is already there. The things that I've been talking about are things that are going to be in the next iteration. We already have, or could be in the next iteration. We already have what we're going to do. And the scope of this project, we already have the 3 styles of football work, and we have the customization. Now we're focused on more on tweaking the gameplay, which that's got to be done no matter what you're doing. So the core values that we have with this thing is the gameplay and the graphical content, and also the overall design of where we're going with this. And I designed this game long before we started making it. So that we have a game design document and everything that's been patented, and so you know we already have what we're going to put in this game right now, and we're right now at about 80% on that, and that's all we're going to do for this first iteration. We're not going to try to put the kitchen sink in on the first iteration, because no matter what you do, you're always going to have to iterate and make it better and make it better. So we already have the 3 things that we're going to do with this game, and then we're going to add these other things, after the release and in other iterations. So that's the answer to that. I hope that answers your question. Um, let's see. I think I've answered those questions. Um, let's see. There was one other thing that I wanted to point out. Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we're going to have a practice mode in this that will not only teach people about how to manage their teams and everything, but we want to educate people on the football and everything too. What about the price? How much for the game? Right now, we haven't decided on a price, but it's going to be, right around what every other game costs. It's not going to be the $59.99 that EA is charging for Madden, obviously, because that's on a different level. But we will release that price point, once we get everything else worked out. That's kind of the last thing, but it will be affordable, so I'm not worried about that. Do you have a release date? Yeah, the fall of 2020. Is when we are going to release the game. The football simulator and the other products like the injury tracker and the other apps that we have, those will be released in the first quarter of 2020. But the football game will be released in the fall of 2020. And again, like I said, it's 80% there. And once we get it finished, then we're going to, do our green light on Steam. Street football. Keenan Hutchinson says street football. So these are things that are good to know because these are things that we will add when we talk about scope of the project. We're not going to put these things in right now because we're trying to get to this release of fall of 2020, and we can't just keep piling on, but we can do this stuff. And the beauty about being an indie developer and what we're doing, I've studied this for the last 4 years. We can do it once we get the game built. We can do whatever we want, and so having a street football game, having a game that has women players in it and women play against the men, that's going to be great. So yeah, we can do that. We can do the street football. Um, let's see. There is. Oh, we have some enhancements that we're doing with the football game right now, and we're trying to ramp up things on the defensive end as well. So we want to make the defense, you know, just as powerful. I know everybody likes to score points, but I think if you have a challenging defense as well with the AI, then it makes for a better, more of a chess match on how to figure things out. So think of this game as a chess match of football. That's basically what it is. That's what we want to make it. That's our goal, is to make this game a chess match, like playing chess, but it's football. Um, I think I have everything here. We've addressed the customization. One last thing I wanted to say is, yeah, we also have within this game, we have pre-snap animations that we're going to put in there where the quarterback points and the defenders point and everything. We already have that stuff done, so we're going to implement that. That's probably going to be the last thing that we do before we launch. So that's what we're going to have there. Oh yeah, Kurt has a question about AI players. Will they be dumber than a box of rocks? Let's not talk about Madden like that. What you got to realize with Madden is because the human is controlling the player, it's hard to anticipate what the human is going to do, and that's why some games are kind of unrealistic because it's hard to anticipate what the human is going to do. They may run their player back 60 yards and then throw a pass and stuff like that. Whereas in real life, you can't do that. And that's why I was really careful with wanting to make sure that before we would think about adding controls to the game, to make sure that, it's not going to play like that, that people can't do these unrealistic things. Now, people may do that still in a sense, but they won't have control like you do in Madden. But the AI is going to be, right now, the AI is too tuned up, so we have to tune it down a little bit. But no, they're not dumb. They're actually too smart right now to where we want to have some kind of balance in there where, you can make yards and you can, have some successes and everything. Right now, the AI is very, very hard. And it's hard to gain yardage. I know you've seen the videos and everything, and you see things happening, but I usually have to run a play, 5 or 10 times to actually get it to work right. And so we're gonna kind of ramp that AI down a little bit and fine tune it, and that's going to be based on when people get the game and play it. I mean, when they play the game, they're going to see. We're with our feedback from you guys, we'll see how we need to tune the AI, because we want to make it difficult, but we don't want to make it too difficult where it's not fun. I mean, I want to have fun when I'm playing a game like this, to where I can score, I get challenged. So there's got to be that balance there, and that's what we're trying to find right now. I'm gonna. Does anybody out there? Speaking of that, and the question here is: does anybody out there prefer um, very hard AI? I mean, I spelled that wrong, but that's the main thing, that I'm trying to find out from you guys. I mean, do you want the AI to be super hard? Because it's hard right now. It's not super hard, but it's pretty hard right now. It's pretty difficult to score. But do you guys want that, or do you want something a little bit more, you know, fun? Yeah, well, realistic is relative. So what you may think is realistic, Kurt, some people may not think is realistic, and that's the thing. Are you talking about realistic from the standpoint of, it's just, you know, emulates life? Players know what they're trying. Yeah, right now, players do know what they're doing, and I think, like I said, the problem right now that we're having is the AI is too. I mean, for instance, the D backs, they stick on the receivers too much, and we've got to. And that's because we're making the simulator right now, and the simulator doesn't have statistics tied to it. It's more probabilities tied to it. And so the game is going to have statistical ratings tied to it. So it's going to be based on, if your player is good enough. Now, every player degrades over time. So he may be a great player now, but as he gets older and he's taking hits and everything, he's going to degrade and his skills are going to degrade. So we're going to have that in there. But yeah, the players right now know where to go. We designed decision trees for each player: linemen, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, receivers, quarterbacks, D backs, and everything like that. So, for example, if you have a quarterback and he's a rookie, he may not have the wherewithal to go through his progressions like a veteran would. And some of them will. It just depends. But that's the kind of level of detail that we're going to with this right now, as far as the players go. Yeah, G12 asked a question. I would like to work my way up from the easy to the super hard. Well, there's only going to be one skill level, G12, and it's going to be one, just like in real life. You have the NFL, that's a skill level. You have college, that's a skill level. It's really one skill level that people have to be good at. If you're good in college, chances are you're going to be pretty decent in the pros, but you're going to have to work your way to be that person. Just because you have a good college career doesn't necessarily translate into a good professional career. So those are the kind of parameters that we're building into this. So you don't just, very rare that people just come out and just blow it up like a Lamar Jackson or something like that. Um, so yeah, we will have the realism in here. We will have the realism in here. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I have. I wish that we had got started a lot better. I know that the stream there was some issues there and everything, but the next one will be a lot better. And let's see, King Habo asked a question: you showing any gameplay tonight? Yes, on Skype. It's on Skype. Kurt asked a question: I'd like to see the ability to test a player's football smarts before drafting them. Also, like to see the ability to improve the players off the field through film study. So that what you're talking about that there, Kurt, is the training aspect. If you look at how Football Manager is, the soccer game, there's ways that you train a player. There's not only from a mental standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint, lifting weights and doing running and so on and so forth. We are going to have a lot of those things built in, although they may not be built in within the first iteration. They may be very light, but they will be in the game initially on a small level, and then we'll make them better from there. And I hope that answers your question. So if you guys, any of you, I'm going to. I hope I've asked or answered a lot of your questions. I'm going to shut things down here on this live stream. I think it's been pretty productive. And then what we can do is I can put you guys. I think I put my email for Skype in there. If you guys want to see gameplay, all you have to do, I'm going to keep this going for about another 30 minutes on Skype. We're going to move over to there. Anybody that wants to see gameplay, just send me a invite on Skype. Send me a notification, and we'll put together the stream over there, and we'll just start. We'll add people to the stream, and we're going to keep it open for another 30 minutes. But if there's I'll give another 2 minutes for any questions that anybody has right now before we shut down everything. But I appreciate you guys coming out. And again, the name of the company is iPlayInteractive. We have a website, iPlayInteractive.com, and I'll put that in here. That's our website. And the other website is still up. Java Prince is still up. But Java Prince is more of our music production site and everything like that. Okay, Kurt, you just have to put in. All right, try this, guys. Try that. That's my Skype ID. If you can't find me under Calvert Anderson 2000, the Calvert Anderson at Hotmail. Try this, my Skype ID right there, CALLAZ43. If you type that in, I know that's going to go. I'm right there on here right now. So if you guys send me a notification, I will grab it, and then we can start looking at some gameplay and talk about some customization in that. Okay, looks like that's Kurt, and we're going to accept that. Okay, so Kurt is in, everybody. So Kurt is in. So anybody else that wants to come over here, please come on over within the next 30 minutes. We're going to show some gameplay, and we're going to get on a call here and start talking about that. So with that being said, if you guys don't have any more questions, then I'm going to end the stream right now, and I appreciate everybody for coming out, and look for a lot of stuff from us this year, and look for the football history in the fall of 2020. Okay? Thanks, guys.